Well, a very good evening to everybody out there in TV land. My name is Eddie. I'm here with the one, the only...
Ben, a.k.a. Uber's Cosplay.
For Let's Talk Gunpla, episode 27, was it? Episode 27. That is a lot of episodes. That is a lot of episodes. Yeah, we've been mixing it up. So thank you so much for tuning in this lovely evening. Before we get started, if you're watching this on Twitch or YouTube or Facebook, wherever you're watching, be sure to follow, subscribe, like, whatever the case may be, so you can get those alerts. Be sure to hit that notification little icon on YouTube so you can get alerted to when we do go live, because we try to go as live as often as possible, especially with everything about Gundam. So tonight we have a really cool night in store for you with a bunch of cool gadgets, gizmos for Gundam, as well as a bunch of kits here at Flynn's. We have a fresh inventory that came in, well, half of it, and then the other half is on its way. Hopefully we'll be receiving it tomorrow. Yeah. But anyways, guys, you can find me at Flynn's Gaming FL. Flynn's Gaming FL. We're everywhere from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all that kind of cool stuff. The information's right below our video, and you can find Ben at...
Best place is Instagram, just Uber's Cosplay, U-B-E-R-S Cosplay, all one word. But I'm also on YouTube, Facebook, pretty much all the social media, and I'm also on Flynn's Discord.
Yes, Discord, that is true. Be sure to join that Discord. The Discord link, I'll make sure that Senpai adds it to the description below. The Discord is free. It's a community channels dedicated to Gundam, Warhammer, cosplay, video games, music. You name it, we probably have it.
Yeah, I just added some news feeds to the members Gundam chat as well.
Awesome.
For all the new stuff coming out.
Cool. So, speaking of that, great segue. Let's segue on over to the Gundam Club. So here at Flynn's, we have what we call the Gundam Hangar Club, and we've actually made a lot of modifications to it to streamline the whole process.
Right.
It's like it's like learning a new language, but nonetheless, it is done. So if you head on over to flynnsgaming.com, on the tab, which if you're looking at mobile, would be like the tab on the left-hand side, it'll drop down Gundam Club. You click that. This is what you're going to see. So it's $25 a month. It gives you a description of everything that's included there. And this is an automated payment. So it'll automate to whenever you sign up to withdraw those $25 a month from your whatever account or card you have set up on that date. So if you were to sign up today on the 5th of April, it will draw the next month on the May 5th as well, so that you're able to make that nice little segue and to have the payment all caught up and you don't have to worry about it. And we have a lot of great kits. Remember, Ben, what is the 15th, right? 15th, 16th of every month.
Yeah, 15th is the monthly distributor order. So what it is every month I send out an order sheet to all the club members, and you get basically first pick at everything from our distributor. And it's not just Gundam kits. It's kits from One Piece, other animes, 30-minute mission kits, tools, supplies, paints, all kinds of stuff. You get a great discount straight through us, and you don't have to pay for shipping because you're getting it with our regular order.
Yeah, we're paying for the shipping. Yeah. Someone's paying for shipping. It's not free shipping, but we're paying for it.
What I always tell the club members too, this is a really good way, like if you have some niche interests for some stuff that's maybe not carried in most hobby stores, like Digimon kits, or maybe some of the more obscure anime, stuff like that, that's or true. Even just like specific supplies. The distributor order is the best place to get that, because you can get stuff that's rare that places might not order because there's not a huge audience for it. You can get it to the distributor for a good price. And of course, for consumables, things like sanding blocks, paints, and things like that, it's very good to get through there as well, because you also get a big discount just by buying in bulk. Exactly.
And also, it's a great way. We appreciate the support, as always, for Flynn's, and it just kind of also helps us keep things moving forward as well. And for those of you who had joined, I'm not going to mention names just to shout them out publicly, but if you hadn't gotten your Gundam shirt yet and you are a paying and active member, by all means, please come to Flynn's. I have the latest cluster of shirts. I think 3 people in particular are missing them. I have them here. By all means, please come by and pick them up so that we can give you that goodness. And so that's the Gundam Club. Be sure to check that out once again at flynnsgaming.com. Gundam Club, if you're watching, or if you go to our Instagram, it's also underneath the bio where it's a link tree. You can find it there. Or if you're on Discord, ask about it. And as we expand and grow, which are in the process of the expansion, it will definitely, you guys are going to see some really cool changes. Like some, not changes, but growth.
Yeah, we're looking for more stuff to do, events, that kind of thing.
Yep, awesome. So Gundam Club, check it out. But tonight we have a lot of content to go over, so let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. So what's the preface of tonight's live stream, Ben? What are you thinking?
Well, I got some new stuff that I had been waiting on quite a bit. Like this guy, for instance, is probably the first one I'll start with.
Okay.
This is one you guys actually had come in on your recent order as well.
Right on, right on.
You want to go ahead and switch over to the other camera?
Yep, got it. Ooh.
Yes, this is the Master Grade Gundam GuiGiOh from Gundam 00, the first season. I've mentioned 00 a couple times in here. I brought in like the DVDs and maybe a couple of the other kits. From 00, Season 1, this is my personal favorite mobile suit from that series. So I was very, very happy to get this in. I had told you guys when you put in your order, make sure you save one for me. So I
assume we did, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I was here the day it came out. I made sure to grab it.
All right.
But not to retread too much, but Gundam 00 is based on like our timeline, but it's like the late 24th century, so it's like 2350 something when that series starts. So it's like an advanced Earth. They basically don't use fossil fuels anymore.
Okay.
Everything's running on solar power provided by these space elevators, which are giant columns that go up into space to get material up to space rather than using a space shuttle. So high technology setting. The story is very based on modern geopolitical situations.
Okay.
So it's basically like the Earth has consolidated into 3 like power blocks. You have like the Americas, the European nations, and then Asia.
Right.
And they're all kind of in a constant proxy war with each other, fighting over resources. And in the course of their war, all these other smaller nations have been kind of left to rot, like especially the Middle East, because with all this free solar power, there's no more need for fossil fuels, so the Middle East is kind of falling apart. So yeah, very, very a story that's very heady and based on modern geopolitics and stuff like that. But
and when did it come out?
2009, I believe, is when the show started.
Okay.
I could be mistaken, but it's not too old. I believe it was the first Gundam one to use fully digital animation as well. Like they did not use cells.
Whoa.
It was full on digital animation.
Okay. All right. That's.
But in the context of the story, these 3 nation blocks are fighting, and then these Gundams suddenly appear, and the Gundams are just taking out anyone who's engaged in conflict. Doesn't matter which side you're on, they just show up to a battlefield, wipe out everybody to stop the conflict. And it's part of this master plan by this guy who, from several hundred years in the past, created this plan called Celestial Being, which was to unite the Earth, basically under one banner, to stop conflict.
By killing everybody who has conflict.
Basically, it's like if you fight, we're going to show up and we're going to kick your teeth in until you guys learn to stop. But in Gundam 00, there's 4 Gundams. There's the Exia, the Dynamis, the GuiGiOh, this one, and then there's the Virtue. Each one is kind of like Gundam Wing. They're designed for specific combat situations and purposes.
Okay.
The GuiGiOh is a high-speed, transformable suit that is designed for hit-and-run tactics. So I have it set up right now in this flight mode. So the suit will transform into this, quickly get into the battle.
Zip out of there.
Zip out of there as soon as the target's taken out before anyone can even get close to it. And when these show up in the show, especially in Season 1, they are monstrously powerful compared to any other technology at the time. They have a huge technology advantage. Like I said, everything else is running on solar power. So there's various other mobile suits flying around. They're running on like batteries and things like that. The Gundams in Celestial Being are run by GN drives, which are basically super science reactors that allow them to basically operate indefinitely. And it also gives them all other kinds of abilities. They have super armor because of this, incredibly powerful beam weaponry. They can even like do optic camouflage and hide themselves. They can block radar waves.
So did they come from like are they self-aware? Or are they piloted by somebody?
They're piloted by people, but even like the identities of the pilots is kept very secret, and all the pilots come from very strange backgrounds. Like the main character Setsuna is like a former child soldier from one of those Middle Eastern nations. The pilot of this one is also my favorite character from Season 1 is a character called Alleluia. Alleluia was a genetically engineered super soldier for the HRL, which is like the Human Reform League,
right.
Basically the bloc of Asian nations. And in their struggles to be the dominant power, they were creating manufactured humans with the idea of them being perfect soldiers. And it's like Basically, what a perfect soldier is for them, it's a combination of instinct and reflex. Where as soon as you could sense something, you would react to it instantly. So it borders on like precognition.
That's what I was thinking.
That's how fast
like Ghost in the Shell.
But all of them, because this is like a laboratory environment, came out a little bit messed up. Hallelujah manifests like a second personality. He's got like a second person living in his head. It's not even like a split personality. It's like a distinct entity named Hallelujah. Hallelujah is kind of like reserved and quiet just to get the job done.
Right.
Hallelujah is a sadistic monster who exists only to kill other super soldiers.
So it's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Very much so. But they'll be having conversations with each other, and like he'll turn from one. He'll be looking like at the window or the screen of the suit, and he'll see his reflection talking back to him.
Okay, I like that.
It's a very cool character. I think he's very underused in season 2, but I love him in season 1. But
I dig that. That's really different.
And it's a super brutal. All of his fights in the anime too, especially in season 1, are some of my favorites because he's very, very brutal in his fighting, especially when he's using the other personality, because he basically attacks without care for his own safety.
Okay.
Yeah. So very brutal, very, very cool character.
But the ships came from. So you said they were kind of like in reserve until they were needed.
Yeah.
Then how these pilots get them?
There's like some side mangas like where everything's being done in secret. Basically, if anyone was to see these, they would be wiped out and you never saw it. This plan was in process of building up for like 100 years before the series even starts.
Okay.
But when they show up, these are like probably about a century ahead technology-wise than anything contemporary. So they're really, really powerful. And it gets to a point where all these nations come together to just try to defeat the Gundams. And this is where the plan is coming together. You know what I mean? They want everyone to ally, so they're giving them a great power to fight against. And they decide, well, we can't beat these things technologically. They're just wiping us out. So we're just going to exhaust the pilots. So they basically trap them in like a battlefield and are just bombarding them with bombs and missiles and stuff for days, just to try and exhaust the pilots, because they figure they can't stay in there forever without food and stuff.
Right.
Eventually they'll pass out. And even that ends up not working.
Hey, Howard.
But to get a little bit into the suit itself, like I said, this is the Curios. This is like a fast attack suit. The most defining feature is this transformable mode. It's not the first transforming Gundams. There are lots of transforming mobile suits, but in my opinion, this is one of the better ones. All transforming robots that turn into jets, be it Transformers or anything like that,
right,
kind of have a tendency to be called lay-down formers. They don't really have a good, well-thought-out transformation. It's kind of just, from the top, it looks like a jet,
right,
and then you turn it over, and now you're looking at a robot's face. He's a little bit guilty of that, but I think from the top, especially with the way the weapons are stored to the side and everything,
right,
it's a very, very convincing-looking, like futuristic jet fighter. And there are some nice gimmicks worked into this as well. Like you can see these engines on the back. These are actually movable. You can push them in.
Hey, Sean, what's up, man?
Yeah, and there's a little switch in the back for if you want to extend the thrusters back out.
I like that a lot.
And there's even integrated landing gear. Like you wouldn't.
Because this is a master grade, right?
Yes, this is a master grade kit. There's even like integrated landing gear in this. Like you wouldn't look at this and think, okay, where are the wheels? Well, he has these little flaps that are on the feet that fold down, and then this panel where the crotch armor is to fold down, so he has full-on landing gear.
Oh, because you could lay it on a shelf or a table that way.
Yeah, this thing could, because the idea is, remember, they're supposed to be kind of like covert, so this could take off from a base, and it could engage enemies, and then when the battle's over, fly away, and if anyone caught a glimpse of it, it's just some kind of high-powered jet. It's not like a giant robot. But there's also a few other gimmicks. A lot of the Master Grade 00 suits have a light-up gimmick. This one is the same as well. The GN drive, which is like that super-powered drive I mentioned, you can actually remove it. And there's space inside this to fit 2 of the Gundam LED units, to where the front of it will light up, and then that little chest gem on the front will light up, and you actually see in tiny little letters like Gundam Curios. It's actually scribed in there.
Scribed in there?
Really, really tiny, but it's scribed in there and you can see it.
That's awesome, man.
But that's a neat little effect to have.
And the Gundam LEDs, I've heard mixed reviews on them because of the sensitivity, the fragileness of it.
They're kind of notoriously bad. There are third-party ones that I hear are better that you can. I believe they're even on Amazon. But it's just a neat little option to have.
That's really cool.
Me personally, I don't use them because I don't like having to pull it out and switch out the batteries all the time. But if you're going to do like a couple like nice beauty shot photos, it's a cool option to have. But anyway, why don't you go ahead and talk about like some of the upcoming events, and I'll transform this guy for the second half of the review.
So guys, we have a couple events upcoming. We have, first of all, in the run of it, we have our bigger pot tournaments. When I talk pot, I mean prize pool. We have those coming up on the 17th and 18th. We have Smash Ultimate, the $300 pool tournament on the 17th, which is Saturday at 7 p.m. Register here at the door. Matches start at 7:30. Then on that Sunday, we have Dragon Ball Z Fighters. Once again, 7 p.m. registration. Matches start at 7:30. That's a $150 prize pool. And then the following week, Friday and Saturday, we have, or excuse me, better yet, Thursday and Friday. Thursday, we have Mortal Kombat 11, and then that Friday, we have Tekken 7. Because on that following Sunday, the 25th, we have our free pop-up retro arcade at Silver Spot Cinema here in Coconut Creek. The Promenade right off of Lines and Wilds is the weekend that Mortal Kombat comes out. It is a Sunday. We will be there from the time they open about noon all the way probably till about 9 o'clock. It's totally free to enjoy the arcade. We're going to do hopefully live screen printing. We'll have our stickers as we normally do. And that will prep everybody for that following Saturday, which is our circus-themed family fun day here at Flynn's. We are going to have a clown and balloon animals and cotton candy and other types of, carnival-esque escapades, if you will, for all our Flynn's family members to be able to enjoy. So that's on May 1st. And that's always family friendly, and it's friendly to everybody. We also have beer and wine here for those who are 21 and plus. We have some really cool IPAs from Tripping Animals. We also have Accomplice ciders as well here at Flynn's, which is a signature apple cider, as well as a blackberry and also a lemon basil, which is a little different. And those are the upcoming events that we have coming to Flynn's here soon. But I'll take also a moment to talk about some little doodads that I acquired over the last week that I wanted to share with you. And I know Ben's still transforming, so I will put it in front of the camera just so you guys can see it in camera too. So I found a couple cool little tools, and I wanted to show them to you. So this first tool that I found is actually a metal, it's about the size of a credit card, and you see all the little grooves in it, and the notches, and the little indents. This is for just kind of like accentuating, creating more panel lining, customizing, just pretty much anything your heart desires. It is metal, and it's able to allow you to create that indent or that circle or that slash, and you can see all the different intricacies here. I did find this online for about $12, and I'm testing it out because I think I want to carry maybe a few here at Flynn's for those who do customize kits. And I thought that this would be the easiest way because I know I don't have the straightest hand in the world or the steadiest hand. So this helps you kind of create an outline. So I found this, and then what I found after this was, I was like, well, I have to figure out a way in order to chisel or cut into the actual kit without damaging it. So this one they named, what was it? There is called Hobby Model Craft Gundam Tool Hole Detail Marker Scribe Line. And so I don't know why the name is so hard, but
there's a few words they missed in there.
Yeah. And so we have this, but then I found this real cool tool, which is which is a chiseling tool right here. And you can see on the back of this tool, they show you the different heads it comes with. So you have different heads for a straight, or you want to do like a little drill hole or something like that. So this goes right alongside that, little not stencil for cutting and detailing as well. And the last thing I wanted to show you also was, I know with my limited space and the number of cats that I have, it's really hard to have all my runners laying down. And I always get jealous of the people here at Flynn's that have these kind of dividers. And I saw that they have ones custom made for Gundams, but I found this actually, I think on eBay or Amazon. It's for tools, but it allows you to section out the spacing.
Works very well.
Section out the spacing of the runner. And once again, just these little tools and tricks allow you to just make your building experience that much more pleasurable. And I wanted to show you guys the stencil because the stencil, I don't know, I don't know if you ever used one, Ben. But it was really, it's really cool. It's metal, and it lets you make the indentations fairly easier.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
And I mean, for $10 or something like that.
For doing panel lines, scribing your own, very useful.
you know. And then I found the chisel, the little tiny chisels and stuff like that as well, you know. So just something different, guys. I think total all in is like $20 or $25.
Not bad.
Yeah. So those are my little tools that have tricks of the trade. So if you want to talk more about it, let me know. But Ben has done the transformation.
Yeah, not too complicated of a transformation.
No, it took a couple minutes.
What I really do like about the transformation on this one, and the Master Grade Zeta 2.0 did a lot of this too, is everything is actually very, very solid. There's actually these little like locking tabs that fold out of like the shoulders,
right,
and things like that lock into the nose cone when that closes up. So it's a very, very solid like form.
So is it? It seems pretty stiff too, like on the joints.
This is a very solid kit. Yeah.
Like, dude, that's really, really hardcore. Like, that's really stiff.
Yeah, this is a new model kit, by the way. This just came out like last year, like late last year. But yes, it's a very rigid model kit, and that carries over to the transformation. The transformation is not floppy or weak at all. And just as a Gundam, I think this is a very unique look. It's very angular, very aggressive. The color, like there's not a lot of orange mobile suits in general,
right,
much less Gundams with these orange and yellow highlights. So it's a very attractive looking suit, I think. Weapon wise, because this one's designed for hit and run, he's got a beam submachine gun, which isn't as powerful as some of the rifles in the show, but it's more than strong enough to take out the average suit that it's fighting. The idea is it's supposed to be very, very quick. He also has this shield, which I'll come back to. He comes with 2 of these missile pods, which will clip onto the arms. And he only
like the forearms or the back shoulder?
Because the idea is this suit especially changes its equipment for the kind of battle it's going into. Like when it's in the plane mode, it can equip a tail booster that has tons of bombs and missiles in it. It does not come with this model kit. Maybe it'll get released later on as an add-on, but he only uses it a couple times in the show. But normally the equipment is just what you see here, the rifle and the shield. The shield also has a few nice gimmicks in it. I'll go ahead and pop that off real quick.
And the orange, now, mind you guys, everybody watching this at home, this is like a straight build.
This is a straight build. The only thing I've done to this is I did some sanding to it. The brightness of the orange, I found that some parts, like you kind of tend to see a swirl in the color.
Oh, because like when it was like molded.
Because of the injection and because it's such a bright color, it's a little bit obvious. So in the worst parts, I sanded it down, but eventually I'm going to paint this anyway, so not really a huge concern. But the plastic is very, very soft. It's very, very easy to cut. Anyone who's built a recent model will know what I mean. There's this like very buttery, soft plastic that Bandai uses for some of their newer model kits that is very unlikely to leave like sprue marks and snubs, and it sands very, very smoothly.
So it's not like a hard, rigid plastic.
No,
when you clip it, like half of it comes off.
There's a harder plastic that's used for the inner frame and things, but you can tell like the outer armor is this different, it's almost like I said,
it's also like a very
plastic.
muted color, like it's no shine or shimmer. Or did you do a flat coat?
No, I didn't do anything to it. It's just very flat naturally. Like it's a little bit of shine in the white just from the natural plastic, but eventually I'm going to paint it and dull it out anyway. But probably the Curios's most interesting feature in terms of weapons is this shield, because it's not just a shield, it's also an opening claw weapon.
So it like grabs you?
Yes, and it doesn't just open up like this, it also extends out on this little arm.
Oh! Do people like lose their minds when it happens?
In the show when it first happens, because like I said, the whole thing is it's supposed to be covert, so even when they're going into battle, they don't use their weapons because they don't want to give away their trump cards. And when Hallelujah finally takes control, he whips out this blade for the first time, and he's captured inside of a ship. And this blade whips out, he just starts cutting his way out of the guts of this ship. And no one even knew he had this blade on him, so it was very, very shocking when it happened. And of course I mentioned there's a blade. The blade is not attached by default. It comes separated, but you can keep it in the weapon at all times, and there's nothing to harm by doing it. It's just that...
Yeah, and it looks pretty secure also.
Oh, like it's in there very secure. But if you didn't want to have it like visible from the bottom,
right,
you can choose to remove it when not in use. But the claw is fully articulated, so you can grab onto things and have like this awesome kind of pincer style weapon.
Right.
Oh, is that okay?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Don't worry about it.
So he's got the pincer claw, the missile pods, which I already showed. He also has 2 beam sabers stored in the back of the skirt here. Let me see if I can get one of them out. There we go.
It's not that difficult.
That was harder to get that out than it was to transform him. But he's got these 2 sabers stored in his back skirt as well. For if he doesn't want to use the blade, he can get up close with these blades. And even in the context of the show, like everyone else is running around with vibro blades and axes, and these guys have beam weapons, and these just cut through other mobile suits. Like
so, it's like throwing rocks at tanks.
Oh, it's very much that way. And you see the other suits early on in the show, and they're very much just like tanks with legs. But detail-wise, they do give you a very nice sticker sheet with this one. A lot of detail stickers.
So you haven't applied them?
I haven't applied any ones except the ones on the insides of the drive little sections, the clear parts. I probably will not use these. I would probably get decals because decals are always superior to stickers. But these ones are very nice. The only thing is on bright colors like this orange, you probably only want to use these white ones because they don't have that border. But any ones that have like the clear border,
oh yeah, you're going to see that line.
Tend to show a little bit, so you don't want to use those.
Now, is there a trick to get rid of the border?
If you flat coat it, you can hide it a little bit, but there's really no way to make stickers look as good as decals can look. It's just a matter of what your preference is and how much you're willing to throw at it.
And we have decals here.
We do have some decals here, but for one specific to Celestial Being,
oh, you had to buy them.
You'd have to buy them separately.
So they do make decals specifically for the kit.
For every Master Grade that comes out, Bandai will release a sheet of decals separately around the same time. And then there are tons of third-party people that aren't affiliated with Bandai that make their own like decals or custom designs. And you can even just buy decal paper and print out your own if you have the right kind of printer and paper for it, just to make your own. So it's really just a matter of what you're willing to go to. And like you said, we have some decals here. For specific kits, and it'll tell you on the decal packaging what kit it's for. And sometimes there are ones where they just release, okay, this is for a certain era, and it's just a ton of decals, and it covers stuff from like a couple of different years, so you can just mix and match however you want. Other than that, there's a few stickers. There's stickers for the eyes, a few for the camera, the rifle, the camera on the rifle, as well as 2 more for these little gem pieces on the sides of the head.
Nice.
But
and this is, and once again, guys, for those of you who are watching, thank you so much for watching, first of all. Hey, Brittany. This is a master grade. Right. And, high grade or SD, high grade, real grade, master grade. Really, master grade I find master grade actually easier to build than real grade because I get more, like, my hands are able to fit the pieces a lot easier.
The larger size makes it easier.
What do you think time-wise in?
This, I built in about a day and a half. But this is a deceptively complex model kit to build. It's not that it's difficult, but this is a big model kit.
No, it is for a master grade.
If you were to put the Exia next to this from the same show,
right.
This is almost a full head tall. Like I was kind of shocked. I'm not sure. I'd have to check the show to see if Curios was always that much bigger, or maybe they just made it bigger as a model kit for stability reasons. But yeah, this is a very big model.
So what did you say, Kyrios?
Kyrios.
Spell it?
Kyrios.
Kyryros versus, what's the other one?
Just put, hang on, let me type it in real quick.
Okay, so Ben's over here like,
show a clip or something.
Let me type it real quick.
Are you like want to show it in battle?
Yeah, I want so they can see the size comparison, Because we're going to show it to you anyways. But yeah, guys, master grades are my favorite scale. I've kind of like reserved just to building only master grades, just and collecting them because I like the extra surface area, better for detailing. It's a lot, I don't know, I get more enjoyment out of the bigger kits. I do have a bunch of high grades and a few real grades. Anything that's RX-78, of course, I'm going to acquire. We do have one perfect grade. We do have one perfect grade of the new Unleashed, right?
Yes.
For coming into Flynn's, and I'm seriously contemplating taking it for myself, but I probably won't, and it'll be first come, first serve. That's a perfect grade. So, but once again, guys, with master grades, still totally achievable. Later on in the show, we're going to be talking about high grades and everything to do with that. So I think Ben had found a clip, so once you find it, just pause it, and we'll take it from there. All right, cool. So switch back. So here we go, guys.
Sorry about that.
Comparison. It's all good. So comparison. No sound, but here you go. So let's preface it. What are we watching?
This is when the Gundam is captured.
Okay.
The Human Reform League has captured the Gundam, and they're trying to bring it into their ship.
Okay, here we go. Skip forward just below, like right here. Here.
Yeah, this girl is one of the other super soldiers. He's not aware of that, but as she gets closer, he's sensing her, and it's starting to drive him crazy. It's bringing out that other personality.
Oh, the hallelujah.
Yeah. And his personality changes right then.
Okay, so the ship, okay, so it's captured and now becomes aware. It's awake now. And it's been captured inside the ship.
Not for long.
They were trying to cut into it?
Because they were just trying to get at the pilot. If they get the pilot out, then they have this super technology, super advanced technology.
Okay, up here we go. Hey, what's that? Man, that's a big ship.
Yeah.
Oh, it just cut straight into it. It's like, alright, yeah. It's like cutting around it. You're gonna cut the top off. And the ship has been lost. Okay, so yeah, you can definitely see the size of it. Man. Oh, here we go. So who is this one?
She's one of the other super soldiers, and she's freaking out right now because he's able to predict her movements. See? Because they're from the same place, they don't realize.
And you guys can find this right on. Is it on YouTube?
I believe this is on YouTube right now for free. This was on American TV for a while too. They ran it on
perfect.
Sci-Fi.
So if you guys want to check it out, you can just jump on over there. See, the cool thing also with Gundam is that you have this segue. You can build the model. You can watch the TV show. You can read the manga behind it, right? They have manga as well.
Oh yeah, there was a couple of 00 mangas, and remember I say like some of the Gundam stuff we kind of miss out on because not all of it gets released here.
Right.
A lot of the Gundam 00 manga did come out in America. Like there was like the side stories of them, like you say, where did this stuff come from?
Right.
There's whole side stories of them testing out this technology for years beforehand, and like between the seasons, like there are a couple years pass, and some of the technology moves around, and season 2 starts up, and you're like, well, where did that come from?
Dang.
Read the side manga, and you're like, okay, in a few years they're entwined, these guys took the drive, and they were doing this and that. So you can follow up with some of that in the manga too. I think Tokyo Pop did most of the manga. I could be wrong, though. They might have been out of business at that time. I'd have to double check. But yeah, Gundam 00. I believe they announced too that there's a sequel to Gundam 00 coming out fairly soon. Like they're not done with it yet. There's more happening.
And now this also came. One thing that's standing out to me is the base.
The base did not come with this.
Oh, it did not come with it?
It does come with an adapter to where you can connect it to a base, but I brought this in.
Okay.
This is a suit that really benefits from using an action base because of the transformed flight mode and the fact that it looks really, really good in in-flight poses. Most of the story takes place in space, so naturally the suits look better in flying poses. But yeah, action base, probably a must for this. Is not included. You will need to pick one up.
And with action bases, remember people that you need to get an action base appropriate for the size of the model that you're building.
Right.
Because they won't all be compatible.
Right. You can get like different adapters and things to usually connect.
Oh, but I'm talking about like the size because remember, don't they have like action bases specifically for master grade?
They have smaller ones, which
for like high grade.
That a smaller one is going to have trouble with this guy just because of how big he is. It wouldn't be very stable. This one really benefits from the full action base.
Cool.
So yeah, the Gundam Curios, and you guys still have 2 of these in stock. I think I have one of them right here, yeah, for $58. So if you guys like Gundam 00, you like Curios, or you like Hallelujah, like you're right there with me, my favorite pilot from season 1. Check this one out, and I cannot wait for. There's only one Gundam left from season 1 they have not released yet, but they've already announced it, the Gundam Virtue, and I cannot wait to get that one. I want to have the whole team.
All right, cool. So you're going to segue?
Yes.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, Ben is going and segueing from this particular kit that we have here at Flynn's. By all means, stop on by. Yeah, we open tomorrow, Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m. for $10 Tuesdays, which basically play all day for just $10 in honor of Grand Prix Racerama that no longer exists. It is now a shopping plaza. But yeah, we're here at Flynn's from 5 p.m. to... Yes, 5 exactly. From 5 p.m. to 2 a.m. Here at Flynn's, and we really appreciate the support. And we're in the process of expanding right now. We have our permit hopefully coming out through the city sooner than later in order to get the demolition underway, and then hopefully it's a short window after that. But once again, the wheels of government never move very quickly. So bear with us as we make that transition. But then it has a really interesting kit that you recently acquired from P Bandai.
I gotta put both these on there.
So he has from P Bandai. Premium Bandai is obviously on its own level.
Yeah, it's
you have to order directly from them.
You have to order directly from Bandai's website, and there's usually quite a bit of waiting involved. We're not showing these guys just yet as I'm setting this up, but I ordered these guys back in October, and I only just got them like last week.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in Premium Bandai, you'll have to make your way on over to the Premium Bandai website in order to purchase and or acquire one of their kits. But like Ben said, time is definitely something you have to take into consideration because it does take time for it to arrive because of where it's coming from and the latency behind it.
P Bandai, they also tend to resell for very high amounts. So if it's something you really want, I don't recommend you wait on it. There were a couple that I snoozed on that I'm really regretting now.
Because if you want to buy it, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yeah, because they're limited release and they tend to go pretty quickly. And they also tend to be stuff that's a little more obscure. So if it's something you really like, it might not ever get a second release. Hang on. Almost done.
That's all good. And just a friendly reminder, guys, every Thursday night here at Flynn's from 8 p.m. to 12 a.m., we have Paint and Build Night or Build and Paint Night here at Flynn's, where we have a bunch of tables set up. We have this section where we're sitting with above lighting, and you're more than welcome to come out and build. If you don't have a kit or you're new to the hobby, and it's not necessarily just Gundam. It could be Gundam, Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, minis, dolls, figures, cosplay, whatever your heart desires. And then also we have Warhammer that we run every other Monday where the guys come together. They actually play various games for Warhammer and learn together. We do have Games Workshop items here for Warhammer here at Flynn's. And then this month we're actually starting for the first time ever. We're going to do a Magic the Gathering evening on a Monday. I believe it is the 19th, I want to say. Let me check the calendar before I mislead you. I want to make sure that I tell you the right date. I believe it is. Yes, it is the 19th of April. It's going to be from 7 p.m. to midnight. And we're hoping to get some kits or some booster packs for Warhammer so you can take advantage of it. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, let's transition over to this beauty.
All right. So this is the P Bandai dual set, the Mercurius and the V8 from Gundam Wing. And just to show you, if anyone hasn't seen a P Bandai box before, the dead giveaway is the monochrome box, and they don't usually have artwork on them. In this case, it's just pictures of the model kits themselves, and there's no blurbs on the side about history of the mobile suit or anything like that. Very bare bones packaging. What P Bandai is really meant for, P Bandai is meant for designs that maybe did not have a lot of screen time, maybe wouldn't sell very well during a normal release. So P Bandais are usually kits that maybe just have a couple different parts from a normal kit, and they do limited release so that they can cater to that crowd without having to do full development on a new kit with a lot of new parts. So you might see the Gundam Nataku in the manga uses like a big sword. Mm-hmm. So rather than release it as its own kit, they just release the sword as like an expansion part, and that would be P Bandai, something like that. This was a bit of an odd one because these are entirely new kits. These are entirely new molds. They don't use any parts from existing model kits. And it's really kind of shocking this is not a normal release because I think these would do very, very well.
Selling them as a pair.
Yeah, this one box comes with both mobile suits.
They do it with that gold, the gold one where it's 4-in-1.
Where it's 4-in-1, but that one's a normal release. But this one, like I said, it's kind of strange that it was P Bandai because entirely new molds, no reused parts, and the quality of it, P Bandai sometimes sacrifices some things because it has to cater to that more limited market. They cut corners in certain spots.
Okay.
On this one, I don't feel like they cut really hardly any corners at all. There's a few minor things, very, very minor, but these are pretty much at the level of full-fledged releases. For anyone looking, I have not done any details added to the parts you're looking at here. The only thing I've done is add the stickers. There are quite a few stickers, but I'll go over those later. And this was also something, the second I saw these go over pre-order, I had to pre-order these.
What would they cost? What was the price for these?
$65 for two.
Okay, so that's like not bad.
That's before shipping. With shipping, it was another $20.
Oh, I thought you were like $200.
$85 is a lot for 2 high grades. $85 is a lot for 2 high grades.
These are high grades. That I would agree.
So it's a high price, but I think these guys are worth it in my opinion. Some other P-Bandai stuff I see, I'm not really onto it. These guys I thought were a very good buy for me. But not just because they look nice, but because this one especially, the blue guy, has a bit of an emotional attachment to me. My first ever model kit was the V8, but it was the very old model. I actually have it here. This is the old V8. This is called, it doesn't even have a grade. These were just called no grades. And it was all molded in like one color.
Okay, so you painted this.
This is painted, customized, and rebuilt like custom parts. I did a ton of work to this, but I rebuilt this after I had moved the first time with the idea of, this was like 15 years later, I was going to rebuild it with all the stuff I had learned. So there's custom parts in it. There's painting, weathering. I added some, like this cable is actually like a piece of wire coated in rubber so it can flex into pieces and everything like that. But just even with everything I did to this one is so much better in terms of everything it can do. But yeah, I had to get these guys because this guy had such a special place in my heart. So this was really what Bandai could do after about 20 years worth of technology. These guys are from Gundam Wing, but they don't look like stuff you might normally see in Gundam Wing. The Gundam Wings are usually very flamboyant and have very like crazy weapons and things like that. These ones are a little bit more reserved in their design because these were enemy suits. Specifically, at one point in the story, the scientists that create the Gundams, they're captured by the enemy faction called Oz. But rather than like execute them, they're like, okay, you guys are going to work for us. Build us something that can take down the Gundams. Because the Gundams at that point are just wrecking the Oz forces. So the 5 scientists get together and they take the best of Oz technology and they come up with this idea of they're going to fight 2-on-1 basically. You have a mobile suit that has the most powerful weapon that they can possibly fit on a mobile suit, the biggest beam cannon they could fit. And then you have another suit, the Mercurius, which has a shield powerful enough to block that cannon. If you're familiar with like the word contradict, the word contradict comes from a situation where a powerful spear would meet a great shield. They would hit each other and they would both break. That's where that word comes from. So even in the show, they mention, okay, you made one with a super shield and a super gun. Which one would win in a fight? They just say, whichever one has the better pilot. But they play a pretty critical role in the show because at some points, the Gundam pilots take control of either one of these suits in various situations. Like at one point, Wing Zero's going berserk. Hero is in the Mercurius trying to stop the Wing Zero, and it's using its shield to block that cannon shot. But even that shield has trouble blocking Wing Zero's cannons. But that's what I like about it, is they work as a duo. And there's a lot going on just in the origin of the design. Like all the Oz suits are referencing either like the zodiac symbols or like mythology in some way. Like you have suits like the Leo, the Taurus, based on constellations. These ones, the Mercurius and the V8, are based on Japanese gods. Raijin and Fujin. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Raijin is the god of lightning. Mm-hmm. Fujin is the god of wind and thunder. So Raijin, you might have seen the pictures. It's like the red Oni,
right?
Who would have like the drums around him, and he would beat on the drums to make lightning. That's what these shield bits are. They look like those drums. And Fujin had this big sack he would carry of wind and storms, and it was like this kind of circular thing he would carry over his shoulder, and that's represented in this giant reactor that the V8
very interesting.
So I like that they have that in them, and it's a very like yin and yang design aspect. But there's a lot of gimmicks built into this. I'll just go into the V8 first since he's closest here. Just a thing too, these did not come with these stands. I brought these all in extra on my own. The V8 has this large cannon, and in the show, this is as powerful as the Wing Zero's, or as the Wing Gundam's Buster Cannon, but the Wing Gundam's Buster Cannon can only fire 3 times, and then it's out of ammo. The V8 has this large reactor on its back, so it can essentially fire that cannon indefinitely. You can just fire it over and over and over and over again, basically unlimited ammo. And it's on this articulated arm that comes around from the backside to put it into his hand. And then this section here, which is like the section that's connected with wires, is a separate portion that connects underneath here.
Oh, so it would come around and then reconnect.
And then it would reconnect. So where he has that
on its own
power. Yeah. And there's a few other little gimmicks into it. Obviously, the reactor on the back opens. That's probably the worst part, where I mentioned the stickers. All that yellow inside is just stickers.
Yeah, because I saw on yours, you painted that.
On mine, I painted it. You could do it as well for this. But on this one, if you're just going to do straight build, the stickers can be kind of a pain. I just put them on there with a toothpick, and I thought they looked just fine. I will eventually, of course, paint this at some point. But just something to keep in mind. There are a few other...
Why is the center not orange?
In the original animation, I'm not sure if it was orange. I think I might have just done orange on mine as a matter of personal preference. But other points on this that are stickers are the 4 yellow points around the gun, as well as the sight and the eye under here. There is an added part where there's an option to replace the head with a type that has the visor open. And you get parts to do this with either suit. Because the whole thing was that they had that single eye and the visor could drop down over it. Let me see if that camera can catch it.
Yeah, you can kind of catch it. Yeah. I can see what you're talking about. Dang.
I personally like it with the visor closed. But that's just me. But I think the color separation is very nice. Even like these little gray vents on the sides of the head is a separately molded part. The little rocket boosters on the shoulders are separately molded parts. About the only part otherwise that is not color accurate are these tiny little boosters inside the skirts. Those are just molded in that normal color, but it's a fairly easy fix with paint. And then, of course, the energy cable for the reactor is rubber. Now, I did do a little bit of modifications to this guy that do not come out of the box. I really wanted some really meaty looking like effect for when he was shooting his gun. So I took this. This is an effect from a Super Robot Chogokin model, specifically the Die Guard. And I put a magnet on the back of this and one on the cannon. So he has an effect like he's charging up a super huge shot. Not something that came with the model. I just wanted to do this for myself. And I thought that worked really well for him. And plus I'd had this part sitting in a box for ages without a use for it.
No, I like also that you use the magnets.
Yeah. And that's so I can still have them without it if I want.
And also you can't really see it.
Nope, you can't really see it down the barrel. I even colored it with some black paints where if you could catch a glimpse of it, it wouldn't really be immediately obvious. But yeah, this one is a model kit I love. I cannot wait to paint it. Like I said,
do you think they'll release a higher grade one?
No, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. They've released action figures of these guys, and it was the same thing. They put 2 of them in a pack together. But I think other than that, we won't see these guys again. So if you want to get this guy, pretty much your only option right now is like a third-party seller like Buy or like Amazon Japan or something like that. Because once they're going on P-Bandai, there's really no guarantee they're ever going to get released again. If you go on eBay right now, I guarantee this is going for like over $100 for the set. So if you want to get into investing, buy some P-Bandai stuff that's going to be popular, and you'll make some money off it in the end because
they're not making more of it.
No, they tend to rise in price fairly rapidly. All right, and so going on to the other side, the shield side of this equation, is the Mercurius. The Mercurius got a bit more screen time in the show because Hero, the main character of the show, piloted this one a couple times.
Okay.
The Mercurius is designed for defense and close range attack. So these little shield bits are called planet defensors, and they would block everything from bullets to beam weapons to even swords. Like if you got close, you just could not break their barrier. They could wear down after a little bit of time, but then they would return to the suit and recharge.
Do they create like a force field? Or do they have like a gun?
It's like a barrier. They don't attack independently, but they can crash into the enemy and be charged up and be used as kind of a projectile in that way. But they have no real attacking.
And this came with the kit
own.
as well?
This came with the kit. Now I have them on stands here, but the Mercurius does come with abilities to display these in motion, and I just combined the 2 of them. It's one of these sections. This rounded part, which I believe is unique to this kit, I don't think it's used in anything else. And then you get these flat stands. And you can display them in various poses like that. And you can arrange these in different ways like this. And there's sides on 2 points to connect these defensors. But the defensors, when they're not in use, they can also be connected together. And it's kind of this really ingenious little setup because they all have one of these little clips that moves around the center, and then the other ones can connect to them. And you can chain them together in various styles and shapes, like so, in all kinds of different ways, however way you wanted to arrange them, and then they just reattach to these back holders.
So there, this Gundam model the model was definitely designed for defense.
Yes, this one was heavily designed for defense. You can just tell even too by the large shield. Weapon-wise, he just has the planet defensors, the shield, and then this little beam pistol. So not a lot of firepower. But in the show, when he used his sword, which is actually built into the front of the shield, it always seemed like a much bigger, meatier sword than everyone else's. And when you bought the sword, when you get the sword of the kit, it's just a normal beam saber. And I was like, that looks kind of dinky. I didn't like that. So first I took a effect part from the Zeong, which I bought here, that came with a bunch of effect parts. It had a few extras in there. So I took one of these ones, like this little thruster one, cut it down on the edge and drilled a hole through it to put the saber through it to get like kind of a charge up energy effect around.
Definitely more aggressive.
This sword. So it looks like a little bit more aggressive, and you can actually use this as well in the barrel of the gun because the size is the same, like he's shooting. But I didn't think that was enough because the sword is way, way bigger even than that in this show. So I took the even bigger effect part and did the same thing with the other sword to make the ultimate crash shield, which is what I really wanted out of this kit. So that was my little bit of customization, was using that effect part to make that really meaty shield blast effect, which I think really, especially when you combine it with the shooting effect on the other one, I really think makes the duo look really good together. Sticker-wise on this one, not nearly as much. You still got the scope on the little beam gun, as well as these little yellow ones on each of the planet defensors. There's a tiny sticker around the head when you're using the alternate headpiece. On this one, it's a sticker, not molded in like the normal one. But otherwise, I think these are really great kits. Posability-wise, they're very, very good. The nature of the design, because they have these large thrusters in the thighs, they're a little bit limited on their motion to the side. But otherwise, they have a nice double-jointed knee. The elbows have a lot of range of motion. They're able to go almost fully all the way up. Even like the head, even though they have the simple design, very expressive. And about the only other thing I did to detail these up was I sharpened up the headgear on both of them to make them a little more aggressive and a little more spiky. But yeah, if you are a fan of these particular suits, pretty much the only way to get these now, unfortunately, is eBay or a reseller, and you will pay quite a bit of a premium for it. Like I said, just with P Bandai, it's pretty much you snooze, you lose. Do not wait to get them. If we can figure out a way to do something like that in the future, like maybe we can get in and order them early, but even then we'd have to sell them at a higher price, so I don't know if it's something that would be sustainable.
Can you go to Japan and get Premium Bandai there?
Well, you can order P Bandai in America now as well. Like, I didn't order these through the Japanese site. I ordered these through the American one.
Oh, no, but I'm saying, like, if you were to go to Japan,
go
to the P Bandai store. Do they have a store?
Well, it's like when you go to, like, the Gundam statue, like the one that moves, you can buy model kits just from that store, and some of that stuff goes on P Bandai. You know what I mean? But it's not like a store you walk into.
So you could do the math. You could just find out what's more cost efficient. Just send someone to Japan.
If you could buy enough. I think there's like a piece limit too. And there's some stuff that's on the website, regardless of if you're in America or Japan, that is only the website and that's it. There are certain stuff like that. Like I believe they had like some petite bear guys that were like in gold and silver plated and stuff like that my girlfriend wanted, that you could only get through the website, and there wasn't like an English version of it at the time, so it was kind of out of luck. But yeah, there's various things like that. But this was actually my first foray into P Bandai, so I was very impressed.
What was the experience?
The price was high. It is what it is. It does take a long time to ship. But like I said, I had a personal connection with these two suits, so I was okay with it.
But when you first built this suit, which you showed us, was that P Bandai also?
Oh, the original one?
Yeah.
No, this was a regular release, and you can still get this one. This one is probably like $5 online. Like
does it come in the red or only blue one?
No, it comes in red and blue, and you can see.
Oh, they came together?
No, they don't come together. They come as separate, but you can even see on this one, you see how it's got the horn with the 2 antennas?
Yes.
This one has the horn with 2 antennas. I just used this horn because I lost the other one at the time. So it's not, but it was basically the same kit, just with a different runner for these weapons. But this kit has definitely not aged well. I mean, I'll show it to you in closer detail after the fact. So much of this thing just broke in the years I've had it before I redid it, that I had to rebuild so many parts by hand. Like the entire arm that's holding this reactor had to be rebuilt by hand. It's made out of like a paper clip and Sintra plastic sandwiched together. And then the pin goes into the back of here. You can even see there's a pin, and that's all that's really holding it together. But hey, you do what you gotta do. And even though this was fairly recent, all things considered, like 10 years ago, I know so much more now that I'm sure I could do a better job of it. But it's nice to go back to old kits like this and just see what you can do with such limited means, essentially. But yeah.
Very cool. Well, Premium Bandai, people, if you want to get into it, by all means, take a moment, check out their website. Break out that wall. Be prepared to wait, as Ben said. And I've even dabbled in looking at it, but after talking to Ben about it specifically, I kind of shied away from it because of the mere fact it's...
If it's ones, like I said, you have a personal connection with, you know, chances are you won't really mind the added price, or maybe like somewhat, or the areas where they cut corners. In this one, I really would have expected a lot less. But I thought this is good enough to be a normal release. I don't see why they would not do a normal release. But because I think they're popular. I think they're cool enough to have enough demand on their own. I don't know. What do you think?
I think
that's awesome.
I think they're really cool. Well, obviously the effects part. And guys, effects parts like the beams and the blasts, you can buy effects parts. We have them here.
Yes, we do have some.
You know, you can find them online, different colors. You could paint them. You could do everything your heart desires. And that's the cool thing about Gundam and the hobby in general, because you can really make it shine in whatever capacity you want. If you want to do straight builds, which means you're building it straight out of the box, you don't plan to modify it at any capacity, you could add the decals, you could do some weathering, you could use a little chisel tool that I showed you guys. The sky's the limit. That's the great thing about Gundam. So, I mean, we've hit an hour. I think that's definitely a great place to stop. But in closing, Ben, is there any new kits that you're excited about that are upcoming that you're really thinking about, or you've ran into?
I'm definitely waiting for the pre-orders to open up for the Master Grade Virtue.
Okay.
Then all I need to get is the Dynamis, which is already out, and then I'll have my complete Season 1 Celestial Being team. Other than that, there's some cool stuff we got on pre-order that's coming out. I don't know if you remember the Miko Labo kits we had.
Oh yeah, of course.
There's the Asuka one coming out from Neon Genesis Evangelion, and that one, the Miku one had a really neat effect in the hair and everything.
The hair, yeah.
The Asuka one, because it's the pilot suit is throughout the entire suit, and it looks really, really gnarly. So I'm looking forward to seeing that one come here. Let me think if there's any other stuff. I know on the order coming in the next few days, we also got a bunch more of the Evangelion stuff. Like the real grade Evangelion Unit 2 again. We got more of those coming.
And the yellow one.
The yellow one as well.
Now, I want to make sure to put, guys, the Instagram, on Instagram, if you go over to Instagram, guys, we're really working hard with Ben's help and everybody's help, really, to build our, the way we can notify you. So what I want to share real quick is I want to share also inside of our profile on Instagram, and I got to find a way to integrate this into our website more predominantly. We have various mailing lists as well. So we've been working on different mailing lists. I know it was in the Discord at one point in time, Ben, for Gundam specifically. Maybe I didn't include it on our link tree. Maybe I didn't, because I know I put our main one here. But I know you included it on our Discord. You remember what I'm talking about? Where the Gundam, where we talked about hey, here's the email list for Gundam.
Oh, the one I used for the club order?
No. Hey, here's the mailing list. If you want to get on the email, you can get on the email. It was a while ago. No, it's alright. It was a while ago I had mentioned it. Anyways, I had created an email list because I want to make sure that you guys are able to stay tuned and in link of what's going on with the... Dang it. With Gundam. But for some reason I can't find it. So anyways, it doesn't matter. But if you guys want to join the Discord, by all means join the Discord. It's the information's right there in the link of our channel. And we can hear the other video. Oh, okay, hey, that's cool. So
there was no music, we'll be fine.
Exactly. So guys, be sure to join that list. I wish once again I had that lovely link for you guys to enjoy, but I don't believe I have it anywhere easily accessible. So I don't want to take any more of your time. But oh, you know what? It's right here.
Oh, you got it?
You got it right here. I guess it started up. So anyways, guys, really appreciate you guys tuning in. Let me see. We did have a comment. Let me check. We had a comment come in. Here the other vid. Okay, we know that. Thank you, Omel. Thanks, Sean. We try on the podcast. Sean says he's waiting on the 06. 06.
Oh, that's the restock of the Pink Evangelion.
The Pink Evangelion. Okay, and then we also have Daniel, maybe from yours.
Yeah.
He says, I love it. UC and Gundam 00. A great greeting from Chile.
Nice to see you, man.
Awesome. Daniel, thank you for tuning in from Chile. And Gerald, thank you so much for the stars and the constant support with our streaming and all that kind of cool stuff. But anyways, guys, we appreciate you chiming in or tuning in for the last hour talking about Gunpla and Gundam. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, please hit us up on our Discord, Instagram, Facebook, all that kind of cool stuff. I will definitely do a better job or find a way to integrate the email forms because I'm using the email to communicate about different kits and tournaments and things like that as well. And you can find Ben at Uber's Cosplay on Facebook or Instagram. His information is below the video here. And you guys are more than welcome to reach out to him whenever you want or if you have questions. And once again, we're here at Flynn's on Thursday nights from 8 p.m. to midnight, just hanging out, building Gundam, having a good time with it. And I'll leave it with anyone in the Gundam Club. By all means, make your way over to the website or to the Discord. Click on that new link, set up the automatic monthly withdrawal. I have to check to make sure the system is working well. But anyways, guys, we hope to see you tomorrow for $10 Tuesdays here at Flynn's. Thanks so much for tuning into the stream, and we will catch you later.
Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.